They found you amusing for a while. But the one thing they love more than a hero is to see a hero fail, fall, die trying. In spite of everything you've done for them, they will hate you.
For having an opinion we don't agree with, you have been kicked from server.
All right, a new low for internet gamers with nothing better to do. It is now popular to shit on James Rolfe. Of all people. So I guess one of the major things that people like to make fun of James Rolfe for is the fact that he hardly has time to keep up with the amount of content he used to produce in his prime.
I get asked all the time if I have plans to continue Board James. Unfortunately, no. But the reason I'm not continuing is because, first of all, I don't have time. And second, because honestly, I just don't have the time. Time sucks. Nobody likes time.
Exactly.
I can't afford to sacrifice the amount of time it takes to make an entire movie from start to finish. That's too much of an investment for me right now. I'm facing reality. There doesn't exist enough time in the year to keep doing a full 31 review marathon. Yeah, I know. But I typically stick to movies. I'm not much of a TV person, and the simple reason is because I don't have time. Yeah, I mean, these kind of games, it helps to have some practice runs and to, learn the moves first and get used to it. But we don't have that kind of time right now, so we're just jumping into it. Okay, so we're going to stop here because we could keep playing this. Time it's going to take us to beat this game. And we don't even know if we can.
Oh!
Fuck. 540 anyway.
All right.
Shit.
Let's break it.
All right. Well, anyway, that's it. We just ran out of time because I have to be done at 540 right now. And what happened was that we ran out of time. I got to go up again. Okay, I am back. Just to give you an idea of the passage of time, it is now 6 in the morning. Exactly, 6 in the morning. And I've only fought the final boss.
I don't understand what's so hilarious about this. Time is the productive man's enemy. I guess it's the loser's luxury. I mean, I've never been able to grasp who finds the time in the day to play 9 hours worth of fucking Call of Duty. I assumed it was children, but apparently it's many grown men.
Filming some of the games took many hours, and James had less time because now he has kids to take care of. Okay. We've covered that topic.
Okay. Yeah. No comment.
I dare say that's the primary reason.
Oh, he doesn't have time. The man just can't seem to find the time. Don't ask me to resonate. All right, let's put this in perspective and take me, a guy with no wife and no kids. There's 24 hours in a day. I average 5 hours of sleep a night because I have too much going on to get a full night's sleep most days. That leaves us with 19 hours. I work a 10-hour shift at the job. We're left with 9 hours. It takes me 45 minutes to an hour to cook my food for the day. We're down to 8. I try to hit the gym every day. Gym time plus commute back and forth to the gym shaves off 2 hours. We're down to 6. Let's say between showering after the gym and washing my clothes, we've shaved off 45 minutes. And I don't know how quickly you guys shoot and edit content that you want to be somewhat quality, but I need the whole remaining 5 hours and 15 minutes to make this video today if I'm going to have it ready for upload day. That's what I came up with. What the fuck are we talking about? Where's the time? What's funny about not having time to produce hours of content for a bunch of ungrateful losers who are going to shit all over it anyways? And I'm 30 with no wife and no kids. Though I do have a lady in my life. And guess the fuck what? If I'm not strict about the time I spend with her, I spend an hour with her after work if I come home and she's here, just talking about our day, spending a little time together. Now I get 4 hours of sleep instead of 5. If we want to have sex before I go to sleep, now I get 3 hours of sleep instead of 4. Where's the fucking time? Now, granted, James doesn't work a day job like me. He's a full-time filmmaker. That's his job. Well, I am also a filmmaker, though it's not full-time. When I am out of work and we're working on a production, that's even worse because now we're talking about a 14-hour shoot day. Commute to and from location or set is bound to eat at least 2 hours of that, so now that's a 16-hour day. Then I'm back at the house with the producers after we wrap for the day to prepare the following scene, look at dailies, which usually eats up about another 4 hours, and I wind up with 4 hours left to get some sleep if I'm lucky, which you usually don't. On my last film, we did not sleep. Nobody slept. My DP worked for 3 days straight with maybe 2 hours of sleep a night, and my co-director, like James, travels 12 hours here with his wife, also produces the movies with us, and they have 2 small children at home. The number one thing I stress to the entire crew when we're working is do not fuck with our time and respect our time, because my DP has not slept in 3 days, and my co-director and his wife, who's also a producer, left 2 small children at home that they're sacrificing spending time with to be here. So that's what time management looks like for me and most grown adults I know. Now help me understand where the fuck a grown man finds the time to make a 5-hour-long hit piece on James Rolfe, making fun of a 45-year-old man for prioritizing spending time with his wife and 2 young daughters. New studies suggest men are more sexless than ever before, reporting that 30 to 35% of men claim they haven't had sex in the past year. I think I have an idea of who fits into that statistic.
No comment.
A lot of grown men live in their mother's basement. A lot of men have the luxury to waste hours of their life on video games. So with no sex life, no job, no priorities, and hours to waste on video games without it having a negative consequence on your week and productivity, I can see why many don't relate to James Rolfe's dilemma of not having enough time to rapidly produce the same content he was making at 26. Talk about perpetuating the stereotype that gamers are lazy, unproductive, sexless losers. Real shit. I never have time to play through a whole video game in one sitting. I have to chip away at a video game little by little. It takes me like a month to complete one. And matter of fact, with all the responsibility I have on my plate at 30, even being a man without a wife or kids, it's hard for me to even enjoy the video game playing experience. Like, after all my priorities are settled for the day and I'm like, I have a couple hours to play video games, it's still hard to like fully kick back and just embrace kicking back in front of the television playing a game as a grown man. It's hard to get into the mindset. It takes time for me to warm up and let the game take me. And once it does, boom, it's time to go the fuck back to bed because I got more shit to do the next day. It's going to take me forever to complete this fucking game. But most of you seem to have no struggle with that and seem to carve out an additional 6 months to make a fucking 5-hour-long hit piece on James Rolfe. I am on 4 hours sleep right now because of everything I had to do this week. 4 hours of sleep every night this week. So I didn't even get my usual 5. But this shit's got to get done, you know? Look at the comments. Watching this at 2 times speed because I don't have the time. A real nerd would know that time is infinite. His wife expects him home by 5:40 p.m. Yeah, okay, let's stop it there. Listen, I'm all for like the alpha male shit. The man is the leader in the relationship. But how do you think James Rolfe handles a situation like his wife being like, we need to talk? I have supported you through everything. You have been doing this since we were in our mid-20s, and I was there for all of it. We have 2 small children now. We do not spend enough time together as a couple and as a family with our children because you're playing Nintendo in the basement, shitting on SNES cartridges the same way you did when you were 26 years old, and shit's got to change because I'm not happy. I'm not saying that that specific situation took place, but I'm just saying, how do you think a man like James Rolfe would handle that type of pressure from his woman? You think James Rolfe is like, hey, listen, baby, I told you what it was going to be from day one. I'm playing the games, I'm shitting on the games, I destroy the games with hammers, me and Mike are in the basement, there's the guy behind the couch with the guitar, and that's what I do. You raise the kids, you take care of the babies, you handle the family, and I make the bread. And this is how we do it. Nintendo games, reviewing them, talking shit about them. That's what it is. I mean, come on, dog. Listen, everybody ain't like that. And I'm not even the type of cat like that's going to suggest you should be like that. Not everybody has that dynamic. This dude is happy to have a family. This dude wants to keep his woman happy. This dude wants to spend time with his children. I mean, listen, I chose not to have a wife or kids so I could pursue this full time because there's no time even without a wife and kids. But the director that I produce all my films with, he is a family man who also has 2 small kids. His wife produces the movies with us. They give me 2 weeks a year on set. Then they got to go back home and raise their family, and I don't say shit about it. Yes, ideally, I like to be 24/7 productivity. Yes, probably if I had a wife and kids, that's the kind of scenario I would have to introduce to my woman from day one. Hey, if we have children, you've got to take care of the kids almost 90% of the time so that I can provide for the family because I don't have time to do both. But I respect people that aren't on that type of time because not everybody's on that type of time. My co-director loves spending time with his children. He's like, I got a week or 2 a year to separate from spending time with my family to work on a film, and then I got to get back to my family life. I don't say shit about it. What do you think James Rolfe would do if his woman was like, okay, We've hit a fucking point here. The video games, the playthroughs, the bullshit. And our children are growing up in front of our eyes, and you're missing it because you're too stressed, too consumed with this shit. Mind you, what the fuck are we even talking about in the first place? If he's got a regular upload schedule and he honors it, where did all this criticism of him not having enough time to do however many videos a month the viewership thinks is suitable even come from? What are we talking about? If he's got a regular upload schedule, he stays making Nerd, which is number one priority, and he's got a couple other side projects that also fall in line of the priority of the upload schedule, then what are we criticizing the man for? Because he doesn't have all the time in the world to produce 20 videos a fucking month? The Monster Madness shit, that's 30 videos, or traditionally always was 30 videos, one for every day of the month, 31 actually, because we're talking about October, and we're laughing at him for not having enough time to consistently do that when he's done it for almost 20 years. Let's say 12 to 15 of those years, he never skipped a fucking beat, and then he wanted to be a regular 45-year-old husband and father and say, all my work provided this life where I get to have a family and have the things I've always wanted. Not all men are like me. I could give a fuck if I never had any of that shit. But I'm not so unsympathetic that I can't look at or try to put myself in the shoes of a man who always wanted that. Like, hey, I did my work. I'm a fucking self-made man. What was it all worth if not for the love of a wife and children that I actually get to spend some time with and be present with? That's not the kind of life I want, but I respect a man who wanted a life like that and is trying to pursue it while the people he made all this content for go, dog, you ain't shit. You don't have time. You should have more time than anyone to make us happy with the fucking game reviews. 15 years wasn't enough. 18 years wasn't enough. We need 35 consecutive years of nothing but your time dedicated to making us happy. And if we're not, I feel a little iceberg video coming on. Y'all are pathetic. Straight up. And for all you nerds, what kind of relationship do you think you're going to have? All you nerds, when you feel the love of a woman for the first time, and she first expresses that she's not happy with motherfucking anything that you're doing, and she threatens to leave, or she says, if we don't get to spend enough time together, I don't know if I want to be in this relationship anymore. What do you think, you nerds are going to turn into Dolomite and be like, listen here, bitch. Nah, I told you. Come on, dog. You're going to fucking shiver. Like, oh, I don't want to lose my girl. Whatever's taking time away from her. Whatever the fuck it is. Women don't like that shit. Not for nothing, children don't like absentee parents either. The fuck are we talking about? James was probably happier than a pig in shit when he met his woman. Look at his woman. She's fucking beautiful. This is the angry video game nerd. And he pulled this. And very, very respectfully, I would try to be very respectful when I say this, but Mrs. Nerd got a body on her. Yeah, Mrs. Nerd got a body on her. She supported him through everything. Dog, I don't let my women sit on the other side of the fucking camera while I'm doing this shit. I'm embarrassed by it. I'm like, yeah, this is my me time where like I talk about video games and shit. She was there for all of it. Like, I could see you're a nerd. I could see you're into the gaming shit. I could see you do all this bizarre, gross shit. You're shitting on the games. You're puking on the games. She helped produce all that. Come on, dog. Put yourself in that man's shoes. He probably feels like he owes her the world, and in a sense, he does.
Internet niggas are negative because they have to be. Because nobody will engage them unless they say shit that makes them upset.
Yeah, you know, the phenomenon of producing long iceberg videos that detail the rise and fall of internet content creators used to be appealing for the fact that it was usually calling out somebody who had serious dirt worth exposing, like actually a creator who, unannounced to their fan base, had done or said some truly sick shit or acted out in some notably heinous ways. But now I think it's become a trend that everybody wants to partake in simply because it's popular, the negativity sells easily, and because it's really satisfying to release a long, detailed video of any kind. Part of the reason I say this is because I've had a long iceberg hit piece video made about myself, and when I called the YouTuber who made it personally and asked him to please take it down, he said, but this took me 6 months to make. And it wasn't just about the disdain for me, it was about the desire to have at least one good, extensive, detailed iceberg takedown video of somebody. Because part of the allure of these videos is how long it takes to make and how much time it takes to thoroughly uncover enough dirt on someone to showcase and support the dirt you're throwing on their name. But in my opinion, once you're taking pleasure in shitting on the work and reputation of someone as harmless and non-controversial as James Rolfe, I think it's safe to say we've hit a new low for internet gamers and their newfound love of turning against their own kind. These are nerds bullying one of the most famous nerds in the history of the internet. In my case, at least I'm brash and loud and aggressive in my commentary. I'm kind of a wild guy. Many wild, outspoken content creators have gotten this hit piece iceberg treatment, and it's still not the best, most productive way to spend your time, but at least it feels a little bit more warranted. You know, I grew up around crack and heroin and hoes turning tricks in the walk-in freezer. I can handle a bunch of nerds talking shit about me, but when it comes to picking on James Rolfe, I just kind of feel like you were the nerd that became the school bully who's picking on the nerd, and I'm the dude that's neither the nerd or the jock. I'm just the dude that keeps to himself but is now stepping to you and saying, pick on somebody your own size. The fuck is the matter with you? And when did nerds become this ravenous and mean to begin with? Nerds used to stick together and bond over video games, comic books, and niche interests. More socially equipped and more socially accepted bullies without niche interests used to pick on them for it. Now nerds are becoming the bullies. It's like the internet culture has made everyone so slanderous and mean. It reminds me of how back in the day liberals were more like hippies. They truly believed in peace and love and didn't believe in fighting. But liberals today may be social justice warriors who believe the proper action to take is always to be ruthless, mean, and fight in the name of peace and love. I don't mean to get spiritual here, but much like the law of attraction, there's another law of the universe. What you fight and what you hate, you become. So even if you absorb yourself with passionate hate for people who are maybe provably wrong, provably mean, or provably evil, you're still destined to eventually become as wrong, mean, and evil as the people you hated for being wrong, mean, and evil in the first place. And that's why you don't fight fire with fire, because an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. And for more on those themes, instead of redirecting you to the Bible in true nerd fashion, I'd say if you're not into the Bible, Revenge of the Sith will do just fine. Even as a man of God myself, I prefer Revenge of the Sith for my biblical lessons. Like how anger is the path to the dark side, though the dark side would say that anger makes you stronger. The Sith Lord reinforces your twisted morals, understands your confusion and anger, the same way the devil validates humanity's worst traits, and before you know it, you're killing younglings.
I shouldn't have done that. It's not the Jedi way.
It is only natural. He cut off your arm, and you wanted revenge.
I'm aware this sounds dramatic, but I don't know how else to make sense of what the fuck is going on here. What happened to the YouTube gaming nerd community? They used to be so wholesome and chill. Now they're ravenous and mean as fuck, and anybody can get it. Even James Rolfe, someone who's soft-spoken, positive, non-controversial, non-negative, and genuinely awkward and shy.
Without my movies, I'm nobody really, but I made 100. So.
Someone who's wholesomely inspired millions to follow their dreams and barely ever seemed comfortable with his own internet fame to begin with. Talk about somebody you could never even say made content for popularity or to service their own ego. After years of sharing his love for nostalgic entertainment, as well as sharing with us nostalgic moments in his own life throughout his journey of do-it-yourself filmmaking, many of us grew up on similar entertainment to James, with similar aspirations, and feel a certain kinship with James Rolfe. Like this guy. Oh, this is going to be a real eloquent piece of shit talk. It's 9 o'clock at night now, by the way. I started at 10 in the morning. That's how much time it takes to put together something like this. This dude seems like a real lady killer. I bet he gets more pussy than me or James.
I feel a certain amount of kinship with James Rolfe. We're basically the same age. We both went to film school. We both ultimately found ourselves making videos about media for YouTube. Better known as the angry video game nerd, James has this behind-the-scenes video that I can't stop thinking about.
Maybe this is some insight into what's wrong with some of these nerds. He couldn't stop thinking about this behind-the-scenes video. It was so troublesome. Dorks. I mean, just call it what the fuck it is, man.
James expresses a desire to keep things out of his way, tripods, light stands, and such, to maximize floor space in his studio. A worthy goal I can empathize with as I sit here in a veritable forest of aluminum and steel. But then he shows his solution. A tripod head secured to a strip of lumber by two mismatched scraps of wood. It is a wrong thing, a kludged together precarious mess whose wrongness is intuitively apparent even to those who have little familiarity with the equipment of filmmaking. This thing ruined my life in the way that only the inexplicable decisions of strangers can.
Troubled by the inexplicable decisions of strangers. Dog, ain't nobody want to hear this shit. What fucking dork watches this and goes, yes, exactly what was troubling me today. The inexplicable decisions of strangers.
This glimpse behind the scenes paints a blurry yet still identifiable picture of a process of endless maintenance, a forever war James Rolfe is engaged in against the twin belligerents of entropy and James Rolfe.
Oh my God, I can't take another second of this. This is a nice, eloquent slander. This is what I'm talking about. This is like the nerd vernacular and the showcase of exquisite vocabulary still used to attack another nerd. By the way, my favorite part of the video is mentioning that I feel a certain kinship with James Rolfe, despite how utterly preposterous he is. We both went to film school. Okay, y'all both went to film school, and James made a feature film. Where's your feature film? Do we go to film school to become directors that make features, or do we go to film school just to revel in the fact that we are schooled in film? Now, I've hired plenty of those. I know plenty of those. Most annoying people on a fucking film set. Because I've noticed something about people. People want to be great instead of wanting to do great work. I've made 3 feature films. I didn't go to film school. I opted for broadcasting school because it was more affordable. I learned what I needed to learn, and I started immediately funding my own feature 10 years ago. Now, I don't brag about this and the fact that I went on to make 3 features after that because none of them have gotten out of this world distribution. And when one of them does get out of this world distribution, I'll just be happy that it made it to an audience that wanted to see it. I have a saying when I'm working on set, and I tell everybody that works for me, we don't do this I am. You will not see me walking around, I am a filmmaker. I am a director. I am a producer. No, I am doing the fucking work that needs to be done today. And that's exactly what film school motherfuckers are all about. Oh, I am a grip, a DP, yeah. What have you done, dog? What have you done? I don't walk around saying that shit to nobody, and I may have better distribution and more feature films under my belt than people that came from money, had funding resources that were more easily accessible to them because of who they know or who their parents know or you fucking name it. I did it all on my own, financially ruined my life 3 times over to make 3 feature films before 30, and I don't walk around saying a damn thing to nobody about I am a skilled professional, blah, 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 because that's not the fucking goal. Do we go to film school to be like, I am a blah, 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 and the utterly preposterous other filmmakers that... Nah, we go to film school to eventually direct features that get distribution that somebody might say, hey, I actually saw it because the distribution reached me and the film's picking up steam. Good work. When's your next one coming out? If you're not there, fuck your film school experience. I funded my first feature by saving tips working at a pizzeria part-time. I went out to Long Island, assembled a crew. I was a first-time director, so I knew I couldn't handle it all on my own, so I called this guy Mike. Little did I know, Mike was also simultaneously producing this. He helped show me the ropes. He did a great job. The film fell apart because I was young and unexperienced. I didn't quite know what I was doing yet. I gave it 6 months, calculated a new plan, got back to saving my own money from whatever bullshit day job I was working at the time, and started feature number 2, which was technically my first feature. It was my first amateur feature. It took 3 years to fucking make, but it's an entire feature. Done, boom, out on YouTube. Another year or so goes by, I get the opportunity to do my second feature, which is my first movie with real money. That's called Rerouting. It's a horror movie that's available on Tubi, Amazon Prime, and a couple other places. And fast forward a few years later, now I've been in post-production for a couple of months on my latest feature, which is my most expensive, my first super real fucking budget. This cost so much damn money, it almost put me out of a house and homes. It's sort of a reboot of my first amateur feature, done properly this time. Now, none of that is to say I'm great or wow, look at me, I'm a real filmmaker. It's just to say there's one reason I don't have time to shit on other filmmakers. And the fact that I don't have a world-renowned film that got incredible distribution deters me from shitting on other filmmakers like James, who did. Regardless of what the fuck you think about the Angry Video Game Nerd movie, I didn't think it was super fantastic. It just didn't seem that a web series worked as a full-length feature film. But the guy fucking did it. That's the dream of going to film school. To at least do that, regardless of what the public thinks of the film. Not to jerk yourself off with how excellent your vocabulary is and your rather eloquent slander of someone like James Rolfe. Oh, here we got another group of filmmakers. I also love how these cats say that they don't shit on James for the clout.
It was very tempting for anybody who listened in to accuse us of clout chasing or you're ripping this guy to bring yourselves up. And
okay. Let's look at how well your video views do when you're not shitting on James. All right, Red Cow, most popular video is them shitting on James Rolfe. Film school was put to good use. Second most popular video, 195,000 views for shitting on James. Third most popular video, 181,000 views for shitting on James. Fourth most popular video, 156,000 views for shitting on James. And the list just goes on and on and on and on. Let's look at some original content that has nothing to do with smearing Cinemassacre. I see 3,000 views, 4,000 views, 4.8 thousand views, 5.9 thousand views, 3.1 thousand views. Oh, good for you guys. Here's one with 11K. That's about what you're worth. Now, this cat right here claims to have made 2 feature films. I've never heard of them, but I looked at the Red Barn website. It features quite a few different feature-length movies that all seem to be animated movies. The main point is, here we got a couple of guys who are filmmakers. What is their number one priority? Is it making films? Is it pursuing film? Or is it shitting on a more well-known filmmaker for hours at a time on the internet? You've made feature films, that's excellent. You went to film school, that's excellent. You're skilled in film, that's excellent. What's the most publicized thing you have attached to your name and your company's name on the internet? It is hours upon hours of shitting on a more successful filmmaker than yourself. Congratulations. I'd say you played yourself, but these nerds enjoy this shit more than their own productivity that may benefit their own passions and their own stories. And I'd like to remind you once again who it is we're shitting on here.
I want to thank my wife and kids, and they just sent both the kids just sent a message like via video on my phone just before we went up, and both my kids were like, have a great show. So, certainly did.
Real honorable. The reason I haven't touched on the criticisms and whether or not they seem valid or not is because many of them I would say are valid, but it's not the point. It's the time, energy, and manpower that all of these useless fucks have put into smearing another filmmaker. That's weak. So yeah, because I'm not a dork, I could give a fuck about Screenwave. I could give a fuck about Rex Viper. Rex Viper is kind of corny. Yes, I would say it's been rightly referred to as dad rock or shit that's only cool to dads. Who's featured in the band? A bunch of young bachelors or a bunch of fucking nerdy dads with interest in retro entertainment? That's what you got. It makes him happy. One interesting thing about James is he was able to do something that very few on the internet can do, not have to stick to the most niche topic in the world. Otherwise, if he deviated from it, nobody would watch. James got to do whatever he wanted. Review games, do the Angry Video Game Nerd, review movies, review board games. Maybe with all that freedom that his fan base provided him because he was able to do that for so long, he finally took it a step too far with wanting to start his own Nintendo-influenced rock band. But it makes the man happy and he's having a good fucking time. What kind of sorry motherfucker are you for shitting on that? The fact that Screenwave came in and he hired them so he could try to free up some of his time so he could spend time with his wife and 2 young daughters, and Screenwave didn't do that fantastic of a job. What do you want me to say? Business is business. Sometimes people make the wrong business decisions. I have zero interest in all the dirt. Oh, it turns out the fat guy, Justin, was like really the one fucking it all up. I don't care. I don't care. Because I'm not fucking lame. Because I have a sex life, and because I have a work life, and because I have no work-life balance. I understand, James. And because I have no work-life balance, I don't have time to listen to nerds smear people. Is the quality of current AVGN as good as the originals? You know, honestly, lately, for the past year or two, maybe since some of the Screenwave incidents, I think that they've been pretty okay. There was a period of time where they were lacking. There was a period of time where it seems like James had everything written for him and everything done for him, and he was just the star, just sort of maintaining so that he could make his money. And those maybe were a little bit more comparable to the way The Simpsons or Family Guy has been run for the past 20 years. But what's something that The Simpsons, Family Guy, and AVGN all have in common? It's what fucking show runs for 20 years. Seinfeld wouldn't even attempt a 10th fucking season because they didn't want to run the risk of blowing a good thing. You're never going to have something that runs for 20 years and is as quality as it was when it first started. How is this news to you guys? And I think the issue that I have with all the criticism is not that a lot of it isn't valid. It's the fact that it's not mere criticism. Yeah, your criticism may be fair, but it's this mean-spirited, like, you're not as good as you used to be and you ain't shit as a person because of it sort of attitude that really bothers me in respect to it being aimed at somebody like James Rolfe. Here's all I can say. As a filmmaker who made 3 features with no resources before 30 years old, James, you inspired me in a way where I don't know if I would have ever achieved that if I didn't see all your early videos. Not as much AVGN as much as the ones that took us through your life and how you organically gravitated to film. There's so many of us that do share this kinship with you. So many of us that stole the family VHS camcorder and it became theirs at 8 years old. Yeah, that was me. And today I've made 3 features before 30. So many of us had to do it ourselves and hire our friends and have our girlfriends help us out. Yeah, that was me every step of the way. To all the aspiring filmmakers or the aspiring shit talkers, you may be one of the same. Remember my quote. There are those that aspire to do great work and those that just aspire to be great. Those of you that spend all your time shitting on others who went after their dreams will be neither. I'm Kevin Save-A-Hoe. If you want to check out my feature horror film, Rerouting, that's on Amazon Prime and Tubi. My first amateur feature, if you just want to follow the journey of a filmmaker who was figuring it out as he went, is The Opener. That's on YouTube. All this stuff is in the description, and I'll check in with y'all next time.
2 women reported missing by their families. Both were last seen in the bar of 34. Both use a rideshare app to call for a ride home, and both had the same driver.
All you do is drive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I had a passenger not show up for a ride last night.
And this is the guy who successfully kidnapped and disappeared 2 girls?
Can you just confirm the address for me, please?
You need to hide that fucking car and go home.
You got no idea what we're getting into for the night. You got no idea.
Yo! Why does everybody that goes to college act like this?